Welcome back to Tiny Grimes Games, and I'm here to bring you a new collectible card game, Star Crusade. It's currently in beta. It's been out for a couple of months. I just discovered it about 3 weeks ago, so my collection is really small, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's essentially putting its place in the Hearthstone collectible card game genre that most new card games have slotted themselves into because, let's face it, it's a really great way to do a card game. But there are two huge differences along with several smaller differences. So let's go ahead and take a look at what makes this particular card game unique and interesting. My favorite thing about the game, as far as making it unique, is the interaction between life total and deck size. And this is fascinating. In every other card game I've ever played in my whole life, it works like this. There's a set life total, and that's how you try to defeat your opponent. But not here in Star Crusade. What we have instead here is a variable life total. You can have a starting life total anywhere between 25 and 40. And this is based upon how large your deck is. So the smaller your deck, the lower life total you're going to have. The larger your deck, the larger your life total. So some of you may be sitting at home and saying, well, duh. So I'll just put a 40 card deck together, have 40 life, and kick butt. But the problem with this approach is that oftentimes in card games, what you're looking for is consistency. And if you can control the board, it doesn't matter if you have 10,000 life. If you can control the board and your opponent can't hit you because you're killing all their things, then it really doesn't matter. So it's this very interesting give and take. Do I want consistency? Do I only want 25 awesome cards in my deck? Or do I want to cram it full of more cards because I want more health? Another interesting side note with this is whoever has the smaller deck has a higher chance of going first and getting an extra card. So you're getting more cards, more rewards for having this smaller deck. And then of course, in addition to this, like all card games, there are different rarity levels. So I only have a couple of these cards at the top rarity called Paragon. Now let's say I had several of them. Like most games in this genre, a Paragon card you can only have one of in your deck. The other cards you can have two, but you can only have one of each Paragon. And if you have a 40 card deck, you're not likely to see this Paragon. And this guy's amazing. So you want to, if you want to play just these amazing cards or build this really small strategy, you want to have a small deck. I think this is absolutely fascinating. The other really interesting aspect of a different aspect of Star Crusade are the modules. So like a lot of games that have some sort of hero power attached to their guy, in Star Crusade we have the same issue where you have 3 different powers you can have attached to your main character. You have your default one. For this one it's Thrash, deal 1 damage. Nothing unusual here, right? Most of these games have one character that deals the damage. However, what's really different here is you can have all of these other powers. You unlock one automatically at 15. I'm almost there, I can't wait. And then you can unlock other ones through scrap. And you get scrap by melting down other cards that you have extras of. The problem for me is they cost a lot. So this one looks kind of cool. This one will cost me 750 scrap. I have 14. So I won't be able to get it today. And so for me, my main deck only has 1 module in it. But we're going to see other decks will have 2 or 3. And it gives you all kinds of flexibility. Both in deck building, you can build around the different modules that you're using. In game, you have all these different choices. How do I want to spend my resources, which in this game are supply? Do I want to spend them playing guys? Do I want to spend them on my modules? I have all these different options that you don't necessarily have in other games. So I really like this aspect of the game, this different flexibility in both deck size and life total, and then on the other side, the types of powers you can attach to your main character. There's so much flexibility that it feels like it gives you all of these different options in deck building and in gameplay. And on top of that, there are tons of cards. For a beta, there are so many cards. So look at one faction, I can never pronounce these guys, the Hajir Gog. I mean, there are all of these cards. In the neutrals, there's just tons of neutrals. All at different rarities. There's so many cards, so many choices already, and they're just in the beta. Like most of the games in this genre, acquiring cards is actually free to play, which is quite great. Essentially what you do is play your games, do quests every day, you end up getting credits, and then you spend these credits in the store on more packs. So you can get about a pack, I think it's maybe every 2 days, every 3 days for free, just by getting your credits, and then if you want, you can go ahead and buy packs as well. Okay, so there's all kinds of different options as well for playing. There's Raid, which is essentially draft mode. You can go play in just casual. You could practice against a bot, or you can go into ranked. And ranked is really cool because you start at 30 and you play other people who have terrible collections like you do, who have no idea what they're doing. The moves people make at 30 are sometimes insane. I've worked my way up to 19, so we're going to jump into ranked, and I'll talk more about the game as we're in game and what I like so much about this game. Here's one thing. Because there's a huge influx of players right now, it doesn't take long to find a game. That's fantastic. Alright, so we're ranked 19. We're playing against a 14, so this person's a lot better. If you look, they have a couple modules, and we'll look at that. So the first thing, though, you get 1 extra supply each turn, very similar to this Hearthstone genre. So I want to have a curve of guys. So this guy's a little bit expensive. These guys are all awesome, though, so I'm going to keep them all. And basically, the way the game works is there's different card types. These cards that have stats on them, 3, 4, etc., those are guys. There's something called tactics, which are basically, one-time off events that you can play. You start the game with 1 supply, next turn I'll get 2, then 3. Here's my hero power, it costs 2. And so I need to figure out what do I want to do here. I don't have anything at 1, but I have this tactic that would allow me to play a 2-cost guy. The problem with this guy, he has such a good come into play ability that I'm not sure I want to waste it here. And if I look over here, he has put the bad intel card on top of your opponent's deck. That doesn't sound good. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't sound good. If I wait and play nothing, next turn I can use this to play a really good card. So I'm going to wait on that. I'll either be able to play this guy. Fury is essentially damaged, so he starts out as a 2-3. He'd become a 4-5, a very powerful card. This weapon is amazing. It's probably the best weapon in the game. At least it's the best weapon I've seen. He puts out a pretty useless guy with his hero power, so I feel pretty good about that. I can do my hero power, I think. Not my hero power, this card to give myself an additional supply. Instead of having 2, I have 3 just for this turn, and play this dude. If this dude does not die here, I'm going to be in great shape. Because I'm going to be able to play a Screen, which he has. Screen is like Taunt in other games, where you have to go through that character. So if I play this guy next turn, he'll have to get through him before he can take out my really good guy. And if you look at rarities here, so this, when it has nothing at the very top of a card, that means it's a basic card. This guy, he's the second rarity up. And I'll demonstrate a first rarity when we see him. This guy's so good. 3/3 assault means he gets to attack twice. So I'm in a bit of a pickle here. I think I have to play my cannon, which is an amazing card, and will kill him right off. I think that's what we have to do. As much as we kind of wanted to play some other stuff. I have to go through him first. He's a taunt, so let's kill him. And this weapon is so cool because you get to use it twice, and it builds when you kill a guy. So now it went from 3 attack to 4 attack. And as I've been talking about, there's this little number here, 4 or 8, and there's a number above his module. So when he gets up to 7, he can spend that 7 to use this one time. And this module just costs 2 supply, because you can see it's got the triangle like the supply. So far, we're doing great. Wow, he must have a way to finish him off, otherwise that is suicidal. Oh, I think he had the card that does 2 damage, exactly, but he didn't realize or forgot that he was going to buff beyond that range. So he got kind of owned there. That was a pretty large blunder on his part. I can put Soak on him. Soak is incredibly powerful. So it's this ability that will make it so the first 2 damage does not actually count against him. Every individual example of damage. So I'm going to do that because now he's nigh unkillable. And this is another big difference between other games in this genre that don't have that. And then I think I will play... I think I'm just going to hero power this guy down. And kill this guy. So I could have played this guy who has a come into play effect to deal a damage, but I decided not to. I wanted to save it because he would be able to kill him with his weapon too easily, and I don't really want to see that happen. Alright, one of the things I really like about Star Crusade is how polished this game is. For being a game in early beta by a fairly small company, the background is really cool. This has this really interesting planet. There's all kinds of different backgrounds. They have cool sound effects when they come into play. No! Not neutralized. Come on, man. That card just wrecked me. That's okay. We could play our mobility is come into play, active, haste, whatever you want to call it. Ooh, bad intel. Draw a card. All tactics cost 2 extra supply this turn. This is not a bad card. I get to draw a card? I don't quite... What? I don't understand why this is a bad card. I'm kind of lost here. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I will play a guy this turn and revisit that card next turn. I think what we want to do is play... He has a lot of mercenary effects. I think what we'll do is just chuck him down, take this guy out, and move on. I'm really interested in what this means. Does it mean when it's in my hand, all cost 2 more? Does it mean when I play it, it costs 2 more? It'll be very interesting to see. And tactics, again, are one-off event-type cards that just happen one time. Okay, so this card is really good. It looks kind of innocent, but this faction has a lot of ways to buff guys that are mercenaries. So, like that. And that's what he just plays, something called credit, which basically is saying that next turn, if you look, he's got 4 triangles here. Next turn, he's going to be 4 triangles short, 4 supply, so he'll only have 3 instead of 7. Luckily, this got buffed, so I can just outright kill him. I can trade him with that guy. Or I could try to do guided meteorites, which is interesting. Boy, it's pretty cheap, too. Okay, so what we'll do is we're going to kill this guy first. And then we're going to play guided meteorites and see if we can kill the other one. Did way too much face damage. That's too bad. But we can still kill this guy. We keep nullifying his board, which is great. I'm a little bit torn here. This 1/6 screen guy is really good. This guy's super good too. I think we'll play the screen guy with the theory that we're going to be able to buff him with this guy with a Punisher. So activate means come into play, one-off effect. Oh! A contract hit. That was a pretty minimal turn he got, but he was able to put that guy out. So it's unlikely I'll be able to get through another bad intel. I don't understand. Oh, okay. I understand now. So it's not giving me this card. It is placing it on top of my deck. So instead of drawing a good card, I'm drawing this card. My apologies. It took me a moment to figure that one out. Let's go ahead and take this guy out. And I will go ahead and play... I'm not going to play a bad intel. I'll play this guy. So now I got a couple screens out. I have pretty good board control. He only has 3 in hand. So I'm doing okay here. It really depends on if he's able to bring something good out. That doesn't really worry me. Doing 2 damage direct, or 8 damage directly to my face. It's kind of a whatever. Like I talked about before, board control is so important that things like that are a little bit less relevant. So we're going to go ahead and do the bad intel. Get one of our cards back. Okay. Sure, we'll buff this guy.
That's their blind spot.
It's a blind spot. And then I'm going to play him. Since he has mobility anyway, if something terrible befalls me, I had him. Mobility, of course, means haste, getting to attack right away. So he's really been able to use his power here to great advantage. Instead of having 3 cards in hand, I have 1 and sort of other ones. And now we're getting late game where supply is not as much of an issue. It really comes down to card draw. He has 27 cards in his deck. I have 21 in mine. It's going to come down to who can come up with the better card. And he has set quite a few more cards in his deck. And so this is where the consistency issue comes in. Because he has more cards, he's going to be drawing a greater spread of cards than I will. I have a narrower set of cards to be drawing from. And so it matters quite a bit early game, late game. There's all kinds of different strategies you can use to really play off of this effect. And I admittedly, I'm still new to the game, and I'm still trying to figure them all out and try to figure out what's the exact right deck size for each archetype. But it's really an interesting process to explore, and I've been having a lot of fun trying different archetypes and trying different things. And we've got this sun here that is moving in the background. It's now illuminated. It's burning his power. Hopefully it won't work anymore. Seems unlikely. Well, like I said, the graphics are quite good on this game. Yes! The resignation! I guess that means he didn't draw anything good. Alright, so there you go. We got a victory. We might get to level 15. Maybe. No! So close to unlocking our second hero power. Alright, so that is Star Crusade. Like I said, I've been having a lot of fun with the game. There's all kinds of different archetypes to build. Because of all these different modules, there's all kinds of sub-archetypes that you can build within each archetype. And I'm really having a lot of fun exploring all these different archetypes and figuring out what's going on here. I've played a lot of games with Hajir Gog. I've been enjoying them quite a bit. But I've also been playing games with other archetypes as well. So stay tuned for some more future videos where I do go over in depth the deck that I'm playing, the archetype that I'm using. This was more of an intro. Check out Star Crusade. It's fun. I hope to see you playing. Go ahead and friend me. If you do sign up, I only have 2 friends. Help me in my loneliness. Let's play some games. And I look forward to seeing you playing some Star Crusade soon. So I hope you had a good time, and I'll see you next time on Tiny Grams Games.